Welcome to the Main Street Moments podcast. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. All right, we got lots to talk about. Some big news came out of Disney over the weekend about a possible fifth park. They made a move to make it happen. We're going to talk about that. Also, I was at the Festival of the Arts at Epcot Center over the weekend. Had some interesting things to add about that too, and a whole bunch more. So don't go anywhere. We got a lot to talk about. So on the last podcast, we were talking, the state of Florida is making a move for the state government to take over Reedy Creek, the governing body of Walt Disney World. And the Reedy Creek is still being run by the Disney puppet government. And they had a meeting this past week and made some bold moves. Listen to this. According to a report by the Orlando Sentinel, despite the potential shakeup, this is the state of Florida taking over, Reedy Creek leaders spent Wednesday working on plans to add a new theme park to Walt Disney World, in addition to other expansions. The Orlando Sentinel cited Lynn Testa, who owns a vacation planning site, and attended the meeting. Testa said in a blog post on his travel planning site that Reedy Creek was working to get approvals for future plans now, while the current board is in place that's friendly to Disney, right, as opposed to what could happen should the state of Florida successfully create its own state-controlled board. Referring to the Reedy Creek Comprehensive Plan, which covers governance, logistics, potential developments, Testa said a previous plan that was meant to run through 2020 was adopted to run through 2032. Okay, and this is, by the way, Testa's with Touring Plans. A lot of you may be familiar with Touring Plans. They have a YouTube channel.
Yeah, they're great.
And they're very good. They introduced, this is the Reedy Creek Board, they introduced a land use approval resolution for a major park to be added. That's like the fifth gate, a fifth theme park, and two minor parks. We don't have any
Would a minor park
ideas
be like an expansion of an existing park? You know what
a
I mean?
minor
Like Galaxy's Edge or...
Well, I don't know. Or a lot of, a minor park people might consider to be like the water parks, but those, they've kept capacity very low. And I'm not sure how popular the water parks are. And they don't even, they've had them at like half capacity because of, since COVID, since the reopening. So I don't know. And they also approve sites for more resorts, more hotels, a new golf course, more retail space.
Wow. So they're expanding
and
big
offices.
Time.
Well, this goes in, and we were talking how Disney has their own government, their own zoning, their own building inspectors, everything. So they're making a lot of moves. But what has me most interested is them talking about a fifth park. Now, before they build a fifth park, they need to clean up the current parks. And I gotta tell you, when I was at the Festival of the Arts, I went on opening day on Friday. I was pretty appalled when I pulled in. Now, on my last vlog at Epcot a couple months back, I went there and rode Guardians of the Galaxy. I went there for the 40th anniversary, week. And I showed the sign above, where you go, where you drive through to pay.
Yeah.
And it's white up there where it says Epcot, and it was dirty. And when I went there on Friday for the opening day of the art festival, it was a lot dirtier than it was 2 months ago. It was really an embarrassment. Before Disney builds another theme park, they need to
They are painting
clean up
Space
their own
Mountain. They finally are painting Space Mountain, so maybe the Epcot sign will
only because all the press for Tron, they want it to look pretty for all the press with Tron. But they really need to clean things up. And I know people get excited when Disney talks about a fifth park.
Yeah.
I think they totally, and I know I'm not alone in this, I think they totally blew it with Galaxy's Edge. They just totally blew it. There's two good rides there, but it could be much better.
The rides are good, but the area itself sucks because it should be based on Episode 4 with Luke, Leia, and Han.
The original trilogy.
And I don't like Animal Kingdom. I don't like zoos, and I don't care what they say. It's a zoo. I don't go to that park because I don't like animals in captivity unless it's like for preserving a species type of thing. But I think they should have made that park a villain park. Everybody talks about a villain park, and that's what everybody really wants. But, they're trying to get all these things approved and passed through. I'm wondering if it's just pointless for them to, put all this through, because once the state takes over, can't they just decide for
Maybe.
them?
Maybe
not going to happen.
Maybe they could
or that
rescind all this.
Symbolic, or are they serious?
Well,
are they just pushing? They're obviously pushing this all through before the state takes over.
Here's the thing. I don't trust Disney to make a fifth park anymore. After they destroyed Galaxy's Edge, Disney is in big trouble. They're in big trouble. I'll tell you why. Universal, they've got the new park opening. We're going to have Nintendo World here, which is, from what I've seen out in Hollywood,
amazing.
is amazing.
And Mario is super popular.
Yeah. And Universal, this is already happening, okay? But it's going to happen in larger numbers. The way it used to work is people would come to Walt Disney World and they'd spend a few days there. And if they had an extra day or two, they'd go to Universal. Right. Now people are staying at Universal, and if they got an extra day or two, they're coming to Disney. More and more people are doing that.
No, it's true.
And when we get Epic Universe, we get Nintendo World and all of that going, that's going to happen. Disney's
and I think
in big
Marvel
trouble.
is kind of, I could be wrong, but I did read an article on this that Marvel's kind of out. And Disney, I never understood why they acquired Marvel. I just never saw it as a Disney type property, but I guess you can make that argument for Star Wars too. But I thought Marvel was just stupid. But people are kind of tired of Marvel. They're just cranking out so many movies. The movies are just ridiculous. And I read an article that a lot of younger people are really losing interest in Marvel. I've never really had interest in it, so I don't know. And they have that huge acquisition, and now you have Universal that has Mario, which is going to be new and exciting, even though Mario's been around a long time. I mean, Mario's was, around since the 80s, and we used to play it on the game systems we had back then when we were kids with Super Mario and stuff. So Mario's been around a long time, but having his own theme park, his own area with all the other characters like Bowser and all them, that's new. It's going to be new and exciting. I wonder if Universal, if they're going to do anything with Harry Potter. I mean, is Harry Potter even a thing anymore? They don't make movies anymore.
Epic Universe is going to have a Harry Potter section in it.
Oh, it is. So they're even extending the Harry Potter.
Disney,
still. Okay.
Disney made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
When they announced Galaxy's Edge, I was so excited, and I remember I was at Universal on one of the Harry Potter rides. I can't remember which one, and it was a week before Galaxy's Edge open, and I'm like, oh man, it's just going to be so great. And then I get to Galaxy's Edge, and I thought it was going to be so great because Galaxy's Edge, I thought, was built in direct response to the Harry Potter amazing things at Universal. And then we get there, and if you take out the Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run wasn't there in the beginning. You take out the Millennium Falcon, it's like being at Morocco at Epcot. I mean, it's just not... It's very generic.
It
is. It doesn't feel very Star Warsy.
We've talked about this before. If they had the original cast as part of the Galaxy's Edge,
we don't even have the Mandalorian here.
Yeah, and they based it on that. It'd be so cool. I mean, they wouldn't have Rise of the Resistance, but it'd be a different ride. It could be with Darth Vader on the Death Star, which would be really cool. You could have Luke's house with Aunt Beru selling milk. There's
Beru.
Aunt Beru, sorry, selling milk. You could have Obi-Wan Kenobi's house. You could have so many cool things from that movie.
Anything.
Hoth, exactly. And it would mean so much to so many people. I just don't like Batuu. I know it's popular, but
Rise of the Resistance is a very good ride.
The rides are good, though.
Rise of the Resistance is a very good ride, but I would like it better if it was the original Death Star.
Absolutely.
And
with Vader.
And you were on an adventure in the Death Star at the same time that Luke, Han, Leia, and Chewbacca were there in the original movie.
When you see on the Rise of the Resistance, that part where you see the other ships coming in and out of the ship, that could be, you could see the Millennium Falcon being pulled in by the tractor beam.
Be much better.
Where Obi-Wan is with them. Remember, they get pulled in by the tractor beam in the first movie? You could see the Millennium Falcon being drawn in to the Death Star while you're there. And you could see Luke and Leia running around. And they could you imagine a whole scene with the power source where Obi-Wan is climbing on that thing, the tractor beam, taking the tractor beam off? That'd be so cool to see that, but
They didn't. They did this
No.
other thing, and it's a very good ride, but Galaxy's Edge is disappointing. No one is a bigger Star Wars fan than I am. I was at Galaxy's Edge on opening day, and I brought with me my action figures that I had when the original movie came out in 1977, and everything else. And I was very excited, but I don't go there very often. And when someone is as hardcore of a Star Wars fan as I am, and they're not going to the Star Wars land that often, that says something.
Well, it's hard to get on the rides, too. It's hard to get on the rides to
It is.
Resistance.
So I don't really trust Disney to build a fifth park. I think we can only be disappointed. And Animal Kingdom, I've never been a fan of Animal Kingdom. I go to Animal Kingdom once a year or two. I don't go there very often. Flight of Passage.
A lot of people do like it.
Yeah,
it's popular.
Flight of Passage is pretty cool, but they've got Animal Kingdom has two things going on in it that really don't even fit, right? They've got all that dinosaur stuff that doesn't fit, and then they've got Avatar, which isn't even are not even real animals that doesn't, so it's just a weird
They
park.
could fix that park up if they added a Zootopia area.
Well, that
or
would
they
be
talked
interesting.
about the Black Panther, adding that, changing that. I think they can make that park a little better than it is.
Disney announced this week some changes, and I wanted to talk about the changes. One of them's actually kind of gross. And then one of them, and they both involve the hotels. One of them that everyone's talking about is they're no longer going to charge guests in the Disney hotels to park at the hotels. They've been doing this since like 2018-ish.
Well,
and
that's a good change.
It's a very good change. And I remember the first time we went to a Disney hotel and they charged us per night for the parking, I was pissed. I'm like, are you kidding me? I couldn't believe. I was really upset about it. And that's when this nickel and diming at Disney started. So they've gotten rid of that.
Those hotels are expensive.
Even
So
the
that's just
values
an
are expensive
added
now.
Fee that you really should not have to pay.
And I
'Cause
know-
the hotels are more money than most.
I know a lot of people will say, well, they'll just build that into the room price. That's fine, but I don't need to see this itemized thing. But I'll tell you this. This is a bigger change than it seems, okay? We don't stay in the hotels very often because we live in South Florida. We just usually drive up for the day. Once a year, we might stay at the hotels there. But this is a big change for everyone because when, Iger came in, they made this decision. They make a lot of money on that every day, right? Every day, I don't know how much money they make, but they know.
Oh, a lot.
They know how much money they make a day, a week, a month, and throughout a year. And for them to write off that much money is a very good sign. And I'll tell you why it's a good sign. If they're ready to kiss off that much money, it shows that they're concerned with the guest in the parks and the feedback that they've gotten from guests that there's too much nickel and diming. Another change with the hotel.
I think they're getting a lot of negative feedback on those things for sure.
Absolutely. Now, another change with the hotel is with housekeeping, and this one's kind of gross. In the deluxe resorts, you're now going to have housekeeping every day. In the other resorts, every other day, they're going to get your room clean.
Wait, in the deluxe, you're not going to have it every day?
No, in the deluxe resort, like if you stay, one of the deluxe resorts, you will now get your hotel.
Oh, okay.
This is starting on today, right? You will get your hotel room cleaned every day.
In the deluxe.
In the deluxe. In the other hotels, every other day. And let me tell you.
What is this, the Titanic?
I think the hotel rooms.
We're dealing with steerage now in first class?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
I think the hotels should be cleaning the rooms every day.
Absolutely.
I really think they do. And it says something about, like talking about
that's really bad.
Talking about the filth on the Epcot side. That's just not clean. I've stayed in a lot of hotels. I've never stayed in a hotel other than Disney that doesn't clean the rooms every day.
Never. I've never heard of such a thing.
No.
Now, I know they had that thing where you can opt out of it, which I never thought that was a good
Opt out of
idea.
housekeeping.
I never thought that. And to get like a gift card, $10 a day or something, big whoop. I never liked that idea. I like cleanliness, and I think all hotels that are worth anything, especially when you're paying the kind of money for Disney, should clean the room every day, go in, wipe it down, especially after the pandemic and all this stuff and people worrying about the flu and COVID and colds.
Yeah.
I post-COVID, I think that's more important than ever. And I think it's really crappy for them to say, well, if you're in first class, we'll clean your room every day, but if you're in steerage,
You're not good enough.
You're not good enough. I mean, wow, that's
Yeah.
pretty insulting. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder, what else are they not cleaning?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I think it's obvious in some places.
And I think everything at Disney should be clean. You know, when Kathy and I have talked about this on the program many times. When we were kids, this is in the 70s and even in the 80s, Disney took great pride in the overcleaning they did. And there were a couple things they used to do. I can't remember what the number was. If someone knows, let us know in the comments. But there was a number, like how many seconds a piece of paper, some garbage, could be on the ground at Walt Disney World.
30 seconds or a minute.
Before,
that's about it.
Yeah, before a cast member came and picked it up.
Yeah.
That'd be a big thing. You know, how long would it be there? And it was, I don't know how long it was, 30 seconds, 75 seconds. It was a very short amount of time.
Very short.
If anybody remembers what that was. And they used to brag about that. People used to talk about it.
People used to watch and count. They would see somebody drop like a gum wrapper. I remember doing that as a kid, and my dad would say, okay, watch that gum wrapper.
That's
and
right.
we would count to 30 or 60 seconds, whatever.
How long it was.
And boom, somebody came along and took it.
Yeah.
And that was it every time. It was amazing.
There's another thing that Disney used to do every year that I haven't seen them do in many years, and I was expecting this on Disney Plus, and it never happened. They used to do this every year on the Wonderful World of Disney specials. They would show the cleaning at the theme parks after closing. Mostly Magic Kingdom. It was usually Magic Kingdom. And they would pressure clean and steam clean everything in the streets all night long. And they would show you this. I haven't seen that process in years.
If they're cutting corners on cleaning, that's not where you want to cut corners.
No.
That's not good. I don't
it
like
is
that
not.
at all.
It's not good. And I don't like that whole idea. You know, and me, when I'm staying in a hotel, I love it when I'm gone during the day and I come back to my hotel and it's clean and the beds are
Well,
made.
you have to
So
stay
nice.
at the Riviera now to experience that every day, apparently, because if you stay at a moderate or
Pop Century or something,
or at a value resort, they
You're in a
don't
dirty
care
room.
as much about you
You're in
as
a
they
dirty
do
room.
if you're spending $800 a night.
you're in a dirty
apparently.
room. Yeah, and that's ridiculous.
That is awful.
And it's gross. And it shouldn't be that way. And I don't know what they're doing when it comes to, and this is not a knock against the cast members. It's a knock against the executives that they would allow this to happen. I think it's outrageous. Now, I went to the opening day of the Festival of the Arts at Epcot Center. And I made a vlog about this, which you guys should watch. It's here on the channel, and it was a strange day and it was a strange festival. But the thing about the festivals, there's such a sameness to them. You know, when you start going through the World Showcase at this festival, the holiday festival is different because you've got the Christmas decorations.
Yeah, I love the holiday festival.
But if you started in the World Showcase today, and you just went a little ways in, you started around Canada and the UK, how long would you have to go before you realized you were at the Festival of the Arts and not the wine or the garden festival? How long would you walk through before? There's too much sameness with the festivals.
Yeah,
You know, that don't make them unique or interesting
They're
or
super
fun.
popular, though. I mean, I saw your footage. It was packed.
It was very crowded.
The opening day, and you met a lot of vloggers. And if you really are a fan of vloggers, the best time to go to meet them is the opening day of a festival, and you will meet some of your favorite vloggers. They're all there on opening day, and you met Molly and Alan. You met Tim.
I met Molly and Alan.
Adam the Woo you saw again.
Yep. Molly and Alan from Mammoth Club.
Yeah.
You know, and I met them really by accident. You'll see all this in my vlog.
And you finally met the Tim Tracker.
I met
Jen,
the Tim
which is
Tracker
really
and
cool.
Jen. Molly and her husband Alan from Mammoth Club, formerly of All Ears. I met them by accident. I was in line at a food booth, and they were behind me in line. So you'll see them on the vlog. So, and they were very, very nice. They were very, very nice. I met Jackie from Super Enthused.
Yep.
Adam the Woo was there. Tim Tracker I'd never met before. I met Tim Tracker and Jen, who's very, very pregnant. And you know, and it was cool. And there were some other vloggers there I didn't go up to. But there are a lot of people vlog. First day of a festival, all the vloggers go.
It's a good time to go.
Because they want to get that first festival video up as fast as they can, and a lot of them have them up like that day, like before I even left the park. Some of them had their vlogs up. They don't mess around. But I just when I go to the festival, it would be nice if I felt a little different between the festivals.
Yeah, they have a lot of the same elements,
especially food and wine and the arts.
Yeah.
It's too much of the same. There's a couple things they have, like you got the art booths, and you've got like the paint by number wall. At the art
and you have
festival.
the chalk artists, and they do sell really cool, overpriced art, but it's really cool Disney themed.
Yeah.
And you do get to meet a lot of really cool Disney artists, and some of them are pretty well known. And I like that aspect, but I still think a movie festival is what should be incorporated into that. And you heard it here first. If they do it at Disney, they got the idea from me. And I said this on the last show. And I would love to see screenings of old Disney movies and new Disney movies at the amphitheater area, on the sides of buildings there. I mean, they show movies at the pools, at the hotels. They could show the movie and show Pinocchio in Italy or something, and have actors come there to, like they do with Comic-Con and stuff, to talk about the films, and have instead of the Eat to the Beat, you have actors come and talk about the movies. The directors have a panel in that area, the amphitheater area. I think that's a really missed opportunity with not having a movie festival, and I think that would breathe new life into that art festival. It is the shortest festival, and I like the festivals, but I agree with you. And the problem I have with them, and I've been to all of them except the Flower and Garden, which I'm sure is really cool because I do like the topiaries. The thing I don't like about them is the food lines are ridiculously long. I mean, they're like sometimes 30 minutes. And these vloggers, I got to hand it to them because they'll try 5 or 6 different things and they're waiting in line like everybody else. But you went to the shortest line and you got like the worst thing in the park to eat.
It wasn't edible what I got.
You don't like to wait in lines. I know that.
Well,
you don't like to do that. So
no, I don't like to wait in lines.
Yeah.
But
and you're on a time crunch too.
I'll tell you another thing too that really I really have a problem with is this whole lightning lane system. I give you an example of what I witnessed on Friday, which was the opening day of the art festival. Okay, Frozen. Now, before the lightning lane, Frozen, the line for lightning lane goes way, way back. It's very, very long. Yeah. And I walked up to Norway and I didn't see any line. In fact, there was no line until you got to the part of Frozen where you're actually walking inside the building, which is very unusual. Usually the line is way out and around the corner, heading way back and everything, But this time I was like, oh, wow, let me go. And then I saw it was a 90-minute wait. Even though the line begins right as you're walking in the building, it was a 90-minute wait for the standby entrance. And that's because of the lightning lane. And, this is just my personal beef with the lightning lane. And, and I'll just tell you my thoughts on it. You can let us know in the comments, okay? I've seen this myself, and it really is aggravating. I rode Ratatouille the first time, long time ago, and I didn't have a lightning lane. I was just in the regular standby queue, and I was counting how many lightning lane people they were letting through compared to standby, and it was very few. I mean, they were letting in so many lightning lane people.
Like how many? What would the ratio
I can't
be?
remember the ratio.
I think you told me it was like 15.
I was counting.
To 5 or something.
I talked about it on the podcast that week, and I had the exact number because I stood there and counted. And
that's ridiculous.
And it was around a ratio of 15 to 1. So,
oh my goodness.
It's what my beef with the lightning lane is 2. One, it's very expensive to get into the parks.
Yes.
If you go to my vlog, I always show when I go to a park what the park prices are that day.
Yeah.
And they're outrageous. So you go to the park, it's about $140 to get in Epcot on Friday. And then if you get the lightning lane, it's another however much it is that day, depending on the crowd, because it fluctuates and everything else, so you don't know what it is on that particular day, but it adds up, and people are there with their family, so there's 3, 4, 5 people. It adds up, and really what it is, it's extortion. I'm an annual pass holder. So if I didn't ride Frozen on Friday, that's okay. I'll be back and I'll get to ride it another time. But if I'm coming to Walt Disney World one time a year, or maybe this is the only time my family will ever be able to come here with my children, I'm gonna feel obligated and extorted by Disney to pay all this extra money for the
make
lightning
sure they
lane,
get on that ride,
so my kids can ride Frozen and ride this and ride that.
Yeah, all little kids have their favorite characters or a favorite ride they just have to go on. And when you take them there and you're going once every 5 years or once every 3 years
Once
or
ever,
whatever,
maybe
or
one time
once
ever.
ever, you're going to damn well make sure your kid gets on that ride. Because our daughter loved Ariel when she was a little girl. The Little Mermaid, that was it. And she watched that movie every day for like a year straight when she was like 3 and 4 years old. And I don't think they had the Little Mermaid ride then, but they had the character. I don't know. Did they have the Ariel ride then? I don't think so. But they had I think they still had 20,000 Leagues. I can't remember, but they had the character and she had to see her and it was a big deal. And you know how it is. When I was a little kid going to Disney in the 70s, and I said this before, the characters would walk around the park. They didn't have meet and greets. They didn't have areas where you'd go. They would just stand in front of a ride or in a particular spot. And my brother and I, the whole time, we'd have our autograph book. And the fun for me was spotting characters and then waiting to meet them. I cared more about that than anything. So little kids, that's important. And now that a lot of these characters have their own rides, that's super important too. So you might have a kid that loves Star Wars and all they want to do is ride on the Millennium Falcon or go on Rise of the Resistance. And if you don't make that happen, the day you happen to be in the park on that day, if you have like a plan or a pre-paid for ticket, and then you go to the park and you can't get your kid on that ride.
So
that's really uncool. I mean, we didn't have to deal with that. We could wait in line and get on a ride and it was not a problem.
Like at Universal, if you're staying at one of their hotels, you can get the
some of the hotels,
some of the hotels you get the pass where you don't have to do
the express pass.
There's nothing at Disney, and it's really extortion with the ticket prices for the Lightning Lane. I don't like it. They let too many Lightning Lane people in versus standby.
That's not right.
It's a whole class system, like the dirty hotel rooms. If you're not at a
it
deluxe
does seem
resort,
to be run more like a class system. And I really think that if you stay at the Universal hotels, they're larger rooms. And the hotels are very nice. We've stayed at the Hard Rock. We've stayed at the Sapphire Falls and the Royal Pacific, and we've stayed there. Their hotels, the rooms are bigger. They're very nice. They're less expensive, and you get more perks. Like you said, you get that express pass with some of those upper level places. I wish Disney would do that. Like instead of the cleaning issue, say, all right, if you stay at the Riviera or the Grand Floridian, you're going to get an express pass after 2:00, or I wish they'd implement some of those cool perks that Universal has. But I think you're right. I think Disney is in trouble with Nintendo coming to Universal. That's going to take a lot of business away from them. And this fifth gate thing, tell us what you guys would like as a fifth gate. A lot of people say a Villains Park. I think that would be amazing, amazingly popular. Everybody talks about that. I can't think of anything else I'd like. Maybe I think if they did a Villains Park, they should have thrill rides, and like really up their game with the thrill rides, like the Hulk and things like that.
What I like to see two things.
That'd be really popular.
I'm not a roller coaster person, but I would like to see a Villains Park that was primarily roller coasters.
Yeah, they could do a ride for Hades.
And then
he's super popular.
And then what I would like to see if they did a fifth park, right? Do that so they can compete with Universal with massive roller coasters, which I would never ride. That would be
amazing.
I don't ride roller coasters. Space Mountain's about it, and Thunder Mountain, those kind of roller coasters. But I don't ride things like Hulk or Rock and Roller Coaster.
No, but it'd still be a cool park with
they should
thrill
do that.
Rides.
The other thing I'd like to see them do is take rides that we don't have in Florida, take attractions we don't have in Florida that are very popular around the world and add them there. Like take something that's like really popular at Disneyland Paris and that we don't have and put it there. Things like that would make it a little cool thing.
Are there what rides do they have that they don't have?
Well,
here?
I know what I would like at, for example, the one ride I would like that they have at Disneyland is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which they took from us.
Well, they used to have it.
They took it from us for Winnie the Pooh. Okay?
That was my favorite ride. That and Pirates as a kid.
And I really, really miss Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. So I'd like to see, they have that. I'd like to see it here at the
Brian's going to try to get to Disneyland. Our daughter's living in California now,
Yeah.
and she just moved there over Christmas. She just bought an annual pass to Universal. She loves Universal more than Disney, and she loves Nintendo. I mean, she grew up on Nintendo, plays Mario Kart and all that stuff, Super Mario. So she is going very soon. She just got her annual pass holder for that. But you're planning on flying out sometime this year to stay with her and visit and go to Disneyland finally, because I know you've been really wanting to go. I would think it'd be really surreal. Like, it's like looks the same, but it's different. I know Justin Scard has talked about that, how it's like a surreal experience, because he grew up in Anaheim going to the park all the time. And then when he first started going to Disney World, everything's bigger. The castle's bigger, the park's bigger. And he said Main Street is the same, but the park's the same, but it's different at the same time. So... But Disneyland seems to have more of the original rides.
Well, I'd like to. I want to go to Disneyland in the worst way, and since our daughter lives in Los Angeles now, I'm definitely going to go.
Oh yeah.
And there's some things out there that we have here that I've wanted to ride. I want to ride their Space Mountain,
the Matterhorn.
Yeah, the Matterhorn. I've always wanted to go on their mansion because it's different on the outside.
Oh yeah, and the Small World starts on the outside. That looks cool.
I want to ride their Thunder Mountain because it begins a little different. I want to ride their Pirates because it's a little different than ours. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride for sure.
You know what's so cool about Disneyland is Walt Disney was alive when that park was built. He oversaw everything. He rode all those rides. We don't have that at
he didn't ride all those. He rode some of them that are
a lot, though. I mean, but he was there when the park was built.
Yeah.
And he had his hand in everything.
He walked on the streets.
Yeah. He had his apartment up there, and I don't know. You don't think he rode every ride?
Well, a lot of those rides weren't there then.
Well, I'm saying, but I'm saying of the original rides.
Originals, yeah.
He rode those rides. We don't have that luxury at Disney World.
Yeah, the Jungle Cruise was
he had passed away.
Original ride that Walt was on.
He wasn't alive when Disney World was built, so we don't have that connection that Disneyland has. So they're really lucky.
So I'm looking forward to that. Now, in vlogger news, let's talk a little bit about the vloggers, including the ones I ran into.
When do we not discuss vloggers on the show? Come on, guys.
Yeah. We have been called by people in our comments on YouTube the TMZ of Disney vlogging.
I love that.
I don't know. Now, there's been a big change with one of the vloggers here in Orlando. Now, a couple weeks back, we were talking, Michael K has just totally changed his channel, changed the name. He's not even on it anymore. You don't see him. You hear him. You never see him.
A total 180.
And another change occurred in the last few days, and that's with the WDW couple. The WDW couple, they're pretty nice size, well-known vloggers here in Florida. They have 66,000 subs on YouTube, and they were primarily Disney. They were the Walt Disney World couple.
It was in their name.
This week, they changed the name of their channel from the WDW couple to Travel with Josh and Taylor.
I know he's a travel agent, and I think they do organized travel, and they've done cruises with people. They do a lot of cruises are really popular with Disney people. Really popular.
Well, yeah, they're doing, but not Disney cruises. They're on a river cruise in Europe right now.
Yeah, that's right.
And for the WDW couple to change their name to Travel with Josh and Taylor.
They're no longer the WDW couple.
The logo still says the WDW couple, but they changed the name of the channel.
Right.
That's a big change.
They must be getting a logo
That's
made.
A big change. When they first started their channel, I was following them when they had less than 2,000 subs.
Yeah.
I found them. And they used to do restaurant reviews pretty much.
All the time. And
they were very good, high-end reviews. They're very popular, well-known Disney vloggers, and they've just given up on it. Why exactly? Maybe it's because Josh is a travel agent and he's trying to make it more of a travel business.
Maybe they're just tired of Disney.
Maybe they're tired of Disney. I just am shocked that they took WDW out of the channel name. They're like Michael K. They're abandoning Disney and going to the cruising realm. And, during COVID and after COVID period was over, cruising channels on YouTube blew up. There's a lot of cruising channels, and I go on.
Why is that? Because cruises stop for a while.
Well, I go on a cruise every year or so. And so I watch cruising channels to find out what's going on in news. And during COVID and when COVID was first over, cruising YouTube channels just blew up on YouTube because people wanted news. Okay, when's cruising going to start? When cruising restarted, You had to be vaccinated. You had to be tested. Now there's no testing or vaccination at the ports.
Right.
Nothing. There was a lot of craziness going on. So these cruising YouTube channels, which mostly are channels done by either travel agents or people that work on cruise ships or have worked on cruise ships, blew up because people wanted news. Okay, how's COVID affecting cruise? Michael K going cruising and the WDW couple going into like a generic cruise channel. That's a very oversaturated area.
Yeah.
But I think they're looking at it and say, wow, these are so huge. We could get into. I think Josh and Taylor would do better if he just kind of like stayed a Disney travel agent. I think he could be like the #1 Disney World travel agent.
It's
with tour groups.
There's
and
a lot. You're right. Disney is more of a niche, and there's a lot of travel vloggers. So that's a bigger pool to tap into, and their views are starting to tick a little. They were pretty low for a while. They're starting to tick back up, and we like Taylor and Josh. So
No, I like
we
them.
want
Yeah.
them to be.
I like their channel.
We want all vloggers to be successful, even the ones we don't particularly love. We definitely want them to be successful and to do well. I mean, we have our issues with some of them, and we're just being honest about our opinions, but that doesn't mean we don't want them to succeed in life. And so their views are going up. So I think it's a good call for them. But and he does the travel thing. I know he has talked about that, but it must be doing well for them. But they want to expand their horizons. So.
What I would like to see them do, because like I said, I know he's a travel agent. Okay.
Yeah.
One thing that I would like to see them do is organize like a Comic-Con of vloggers. Like
Brian and I have had this idea for years.
Like
we would do this if we lived in Orlando.
Disney vlogger con.
Yeah. Or a cruise.
Or a Disney vlogger cruise where you
huge.
would have them, you would have Michael K, you could have maybe Adam you could have people, you could have Resort TV One. You know who all the vloggers are. That would be a cool thing. Or if they set up an event at one of the hotels and had like I would go to that, and I think a lot of people would.
Brian and I have had this idea for a long, long time. In fact, there were a couple vloggers that I told them that live in Orlando that I gave this idea to, and they love the idea, but they never did anything with it. And I said, I just don't live in Orlando, and I'm disabled, so it'd be difficult. But that is, I think, a great idea, is somebody who lives in that area to either book a cruise and get some of the top vloggers, or have like a convention in the area at a hotel and see how it goes. And I'm telling you, I think if you had the trackers, Paging Mr. Morrow, Adam the Woo, and you had all those people, Jackie, and brought in some Disneyland people, Ordinary Adventures.
Disney Vlogger Con.
Disney Vlogger Con. I'm telling you, I think people would show up and go and have meet and greets.
But you know what?
I think it'd be pretty successful.
There's so much ego and competition among the theme park vloggers.
You think so? I don't know. They all seem pretty nice.
Nah, but there's still egos and competition between some of them. It might be hard. But Josh and Taylor could do that if they're listening, and it'd be pretty cool. Now, I ran into a whole bunch of vloggers when I was at the art festival on opening day on Friday. And when I see vloggers at the park, I'm curious to see like how they operate, how they vlog, right?
So I just kind of sit back and kind of like scope them out and stalk them a little bit to kind of see how they operate.
No, not at all. You see them around. Like I was at the opening day of the Food and Wine Festival a couple years ago, and Justin Scard was there, and I saw how he did things. That was a little different. He had and I love Justin Scard. He is great. Like my top 1, 2, 3 vloggers. I love Justin Scard. Yeah. He is really awesome. He's not a Disney vlogger, but he does theme parks
Disneyland.
And all kinds of stuff. He's very good. And I saw Justin Scard vlogging at the Epcot, the opening of the Food and Wine Festival, and he had a brochure for the festival folded up that he was holding with his camera that he was reading from while he was talking. Like, oh, that's interesting. I haven't seen anyone do that before. Yeah. So it's interesting to see how people operate, how they do things.
They all have their own different methods.
So I saw Molly and her husband Alan from Mammoth Club. I saw them vlogging after I talked to them. I saw the Tim Tracker, and I saw how they operate, and I saw Adam, the Woo, and there were some others, but I'll just talk about these guys. And Molly and her husband Alan are very, very nice people. I must tell you, they're very nice people. You'll see them in my vlog. And I saw how they vlog. They work as a good team together. Okay. And Alan was filming her mostly as she was doing the talking and showing things and everything. So they kind of work as a team, which is nice. And there's a big difference between how Molly and Alan from Mammoth Club vlog as opposed to Tim Tracker and Adam the Woo.
Yeah.
Okay. And Adam the Woo and Tim Tracker in particular, this is the first time I saw Tim Tracker at any of the parks. He was with Jen. They did not have their son with them. Of course, they're the number one vloggers, right? They are so famous at the parks. It's really funny. I saw them walking. It was right around the American Pavilion area, kind of in that area. And they're walking, and they're so famous, everybody just stops and stares at them. And sometimes people walk by them and then stop and turn around. And is that Tim? You know,
That's
it's
wild.
I don't even. You know, it's kind of funny when you see it. But Adam the Woo and the Tim Tracker are so laid back with their vlogging. They look like they don't have a worry in the world. They got nowhere to be. They're not on a schedule. They don't care. They're just doing whatever. And I guess, you know, if you don't have like a regular job,
You can be that way.
and you have that many subscribers, and
Yeah.
you're and you got the
And
Tim
the money's
Tracker
just
money,
rolling in.
you know, you don't have a worry in the world.
No.
Although they're very, very nice. Adam the Woo, very, very nice. It's the second, third time I met Adam the Woo. He's very, very nice. And the Trackers were extremely nice. Okay, extremely nice. Even though I was probably the 550th person to go up to them, and you'll see them in my vlog too. But Molly and Alan from Mammoth Club are much different. Okay, they're very, very nice, but they're business. They're business, man. They got a business going on. They know they got a business.
They're more methodical.
They're
more
serious.
They take it more serious.
They got a plan.
That's how I would be.
You know,
I think, like Molly.
Yeah, I feel like they've got a plan.
Yeah.
They know they want to
go
do
with
this.
with a definite like a list, like purposes in mind, as opposed to the track.
That's right.
Just kind of winging.
And that's right. They're winging it. And today we're recording this show. It's Sunday. The festival was Friday.
Yeah.
Tim Tracker and Adam the Woo and Jackie Super Enthused that I ran into, they had their vlogs up right away. Jackie had hers up on Friday from Super Enthused. Adam the Woo and the Tim Tracker had his up on Saturday. Here we are Sunday. Molly from Mammoth Club has yet to put her vlog up for
well, you know what? They might have gone back.
Festival.
They might have gone back on Saturday.
Who knows?
And they might have been like, you know what? We need to go back. And you know where I think that comes from, too? She worked with allears.net, and allears.net is owned by Disney Food Blog. And we figured out when we were watching an old allears.net video with her in a Disney Food Blog. We watched a couple the other day. And I said to you, I bet when Molly was out doing her stuff for All Ears, she would get B-roll for Disney Food Blog that they would use on that channel. And I'm guessing she did that. She's coming for, and I'm sure they gave her a list of what to do, what to film.
Yeah.
And, you know, she had some leeway with it, I'm sure. But, you know, when you work for another company, they're going to have a definitive purpose. This is what we want you to get. We want you to get this footage and get this. So I think the Tracker and Adam Lou, they've never worked for a company like that. They've always done their own thing. So I think she's in that mindset. Plus she worked for Disney. She's just got more organization going on.
Well, yeah.
And which serves her very well.
Okay,
by
let me give an example.
Serves her very well.
I don't know what her upload schedule is, if she even has one with Mammoth Club. The Trackers have a video every day. Adam, pretty much every day. A lot of the vloggers, they're like, okay, I got to have 3 videos up a week, 4 videos up a week, or every Monday or every day. I just got to go and get some content. What I felt with Molly and Alan from Mammoth Club is they're whatever their schedule is. Say they put up 3 videos a week. What most of the vloggers do is that, well, I got 3 videos a week. I just go to the 3. You know, I just go. One of them will be a home vlog, or one will be me going to the drugstore, and I'll just get the content up there.
Right, to get the 3 videos.
I feel like Molly and Alan from Mammoth Club. Again, I don't know how many videos they put up a week on the new channel, but let's just say it's 3 or 4. I think she goes to the park pretty much 5, 6, maybe even 7 days a week.
Oh, probably.
And based on what I saw and how she doesn't have her art festival video up yet, even though the festival started on Friday and today's Sunday, she might have it on Monday. I don't know. But I feel like she goes at least 5 days a week, if not 6 or 7, to get the content she needs to put together a good video, as opposed to a lot of these others. Well, I got to get a video up today. Let me run over there and grab something and have a cake. You know what I mean?
Or like she might.
There's more thought into it.
Be missing something and go back 2 or 3 more times. She's not so worried about a schedule as much as the content and getting that right. And they put more production value than the trackers into their videos. And I think that also comes from All Ears, because All Ears, not so much anymore. But when Molly was with them, I think somebody said Alan worked there. Maybe that's where they met, that he did the editing and stuff. There was very high production value, just like Disney Food Blog. All Ears, and I'm speaking of the All Ears with Molly. Now, not so much. allears.net with Molly was very highly well produced with graphics, very well edited, organized, just really well done. It looked like something you'd see like done by the Disney company. And Disney Food Blog too. Very good B-roll, good voiceover with AJ, very well edited. So I think, like I said, she is coming from that point of view where she's actually worked with a company and they have that mindset of organizing, writing it down, and going through a list, as opposed to the trackers or Adam the Woo, who really started as a hobby for fun, and they're just so much more laid back. It's not to say their content's not good. It is. The tracker has very good content when he's at the park. But you're right. It's just interesting to see a different way they approach it.
I think the best way is most of the vloggers are just winging it. Okay, or sometimes they'll see something that they've heard of. So, I better go and have this figment cake or something. But they're kind of winging it just to get the content. And I think
most of them are like that.
And I felt Molly, like, maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like seeing her operate a little bit at the park with her vlogging, with that she's got like a plan. She's going to go through.
She's all business.
Yeah. Now, I just want to say one other thing, though, about allears.net, because they did something. They put up a vlog this week, which was actually very good, which is, some of the All Ears vlogs have not been that good lately.
No, they have not.
There's 2 girls that did this. Quincy and Emma are their names, right?
Yes.
And Quincy's very, very funny. Emma's, just a person.
Emma's just
not
Emma.
A lot of personality. But they did a challenge that doesn't seem to be that big of a deal that's been done before, but it actually was a little more challenging than that. They did a vlog where they went to all the American Disney parks in one day. Mm-hmm. The 4 here in Florida and then the 2 in California. And it was a pretty good vlog. It's more challenging than it used to be because you cannot park hop until 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, it's not easy to do.
In Florida. So they started at the Magic Kingdom and they couldn't park hop to the other Florida parks until 2. And they did it, and they got out to California, and they got in those parks too. Shocker, spoiler alert. But it was really good. I really thought they did a good job on that vlog.
I think they're good together. I think they have too many people working at All Ears. They're spreading themselves too thin, and it's hard to get to know the host that way and feel a connection.
Well, there's not consistency when you have so many people.
Right, you don't know who you're going to get. I think they should stick to Emma, and I don't like
Quincy.
Emma so much on her own. She's a little boring.
Yeah.
But the 2 of them together are, I think, pretty good, and they have good chemistry. But that channel needs a lot of work for sure. I mean, losing Molly was a big blow. I'm not saying they can't improve and make some changes, but I want to say too one more thing. A lot of people were upset that when we did our Vlogger Awards that there were some channels we did not mention. We can't mention everybody. We had a lot of awards to give out. And they're mostly, obviously, people we watch, that we put in those categories. And I think most people agreed with the choices. We really did think about it. But the one channel over and over and over that a lot of people were upset was not included was Ordinary Adventures. And I had only seen Ordinary Adventures. They have 300,000 subs. I had only seen a couple of their videos throughout the years, but I just never really watched them very much, and neither did you. So now I've been watching them since you guys mentioned it. They will definitely be getting an award next year. I can't tell you which one. How could they not?
They're very good.
They're excellent. We just watched their Nintendo award, Nintendo video. It was so good. They're very likable. Lots of fun, very down to earth. So that's, I'm going to say, is my new favorite channel.
Ordinary.
I love that. They're great.
Ordinary Ventures is a husband and wife team.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
And they got into a preview of Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood. And
great video.
It was very good because they both know Nintendo so well. When they went into the park, they knew what everything was for.
That's right.
And they went through everything and told you what it was and how to use it.
Yeah,
and
they're very good.
It was very good. So Ordinary Adventures, I subscribe to them. And
they will definitely be on the list for next year.
I had seen them a couple times before. They popped up in my recommendations, and I wasn't subscribed. But after on the Vlogger Awards, a lot of people say you got to check them out. And there were other vloggers that I saw him at
Kevin Heimbach or something. Yeah. I'd never heard of him, and I'm sorry. And he's really good.
I saw him at the art festival on Friday. I didn't talk to him, but I saw him there. He was having a very long, serious conversation with Jackie from Super Enthused, and I was like, "What is going?" So I talked to her earlier, and I didn't want to go up and interrupt their conversation. Weird.
He's great too. So I appreciate all of the suggestions by you guys because it's opened us up. Because we do want to include other channels in the Vlogger Awards for this year, and I like to see that. I also like. What are some other newer channels that we're watching?
Oh, gosh. There's so many. But
there are so many. And there's a lot of new people that are popping up, I've noticed, with 1,000 subs, 1,500 subs. I remember those days. And we're trying to, there's only so many vlogs we can watch.
But I got to tell you.
But we're trying to watch other people, too.
I got to tell you, though, this is, it's hard to say, okay, this is my favorite channel.
Right now, they're my favorite.
I subscribe to a lot of the theme park vloggers, and then a lot of things get recommended to me. Yes. But there's one vlogger that no matter what, I watch every video they put up now, and that's Provost Park Pass.
He's fantastic.
And I was really upset that I didn't get to meet them at the art festival on Friday because I know they were there, but I didn't see them there, and I really wanted to meet them. And he did a video.
Yes.
He does a Provost Park Pass. He won the most creative.
He won the most creative.
And right. I don't know if we got...
And he thanked us. Mm-hmm. He listened to the show.
I don't know if we got into the details as much as I would have liked about why he got most creative. He does a series. He's primarily Disneyland, but now he's been over here in Florida. He's done a lot in Florida.
Yeah, he's in Florida now.
Provost Park Pass does a series called Secrets Revealed, and they tell you things about the park. On the Vlogger Awards, I talked about... He decoded this message.
Oh, he's fantastic. From
Tom Sawyer's Island. It was just amazing. You guys should go look at that video. He did something here at the Haunted Mansion this week. I've been going to that Haunted Mansion, since 1976, okay?
Yeah. Me too, since 74.
And I thought I knew every darn thing about it, including the changes they made when they updated things in the queue. And I don't want to spoil it, but Provost Park Pass this week did a video.
You guys have to watch it.
That's a Secrets Revealed video on the Haunted Mansion, and he went through this whole story. It was just fascinating to me. That's in the queue. That's the whole backstory of the Haunted Mansion here in Florida that I had no idea.
It's really cool.
And I've walked by this thing.
I don't know how he learns this stuff.
Well, he's very good.
I don't think it's in a book. I don't know. Maybe
it's amazing. Yeah. So Provost Park Pass. It's hard to pick a favorite vlogger, but he's right up there because
he's really
because
good.
what's cool about what he does with his Secrets Revealed is, the Imagineers are pretty smart and they put a lot of thought into everything. Okay, like he showed. I don't want to go through the whole thing that he did because I want you to watch his vlog. He went through the entire story behind the mansion here in Florida that I had never heard before, and the story is all told in the queue. And he went through the queue here in Orlando and walked you through it. Go and watch it. Just give you a sample of one thing he did. He showed in the queue where the wedding ring is, the wedding band of the bride.
Yeah,
I had no idea that was even there either.
I had seen that, but the other thing
was just blew me away.
I had no clue.
Blew me away.
And that's when, and I'm not knocking other vloggers, it's just a matter of style. And this is when you see a vlogger like Provost Park Pass, who goes above and beyond to do research and to bring you something new and different that you've never seen before.
It's amazing.
And he really does that consistently. I don't know how he keeps coming up with stuff to highlight and to show. But every video is interesting. He always has something to say that I never knew or
what
never heard about.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how he gets this information.
The Imagineers put a lot of thought behind.
They did.
The smallest things on the attraction.
That's true.
And when he does these secret reveal, I've seen him do many more, but the one on the mansion just
cool.
blew my mind. And I can't wait to go to Magic Kingdom to go and see it myself after I watched his vlog.
It's really neat.
And it makes the attraction that much more fun and interesting.
There is a lot of thought with those old Imagineers. I don't know if they put so much thought into the newer rides now. I don't think so, as they used to. And there's a lot of little Easter eggs, I'll call them, or little hints or things around the rides or in the rides that you normally might not even notice that they put there. And when you go on the rides or go in the park, a lot of people look for hidden Mickeys and things like. There's so much more to look for and to see. And if you watch his channel, he points all these things out and the story behind everything.
Well, you know what it's like?
It's really amazing.
It's almost like a scavenger hunt that the Imagineers have put in the parks.
Yes.
And so anyway, go and watch Provost Park Pass. He does a lot of these. It's a whole series he does on his channel, Secrets Revealed.
Yeah, they're good.
But this one on the Haunted Mansion he did this week here in Florida will blow your mind, and you will love the Haunted Mansion more than you ever have. You'll enjoy it a lot more. Well, anyway, we're all out of time. But thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget, go and check out my vlog, opening day at the Art Festival at Epcot. You'll see Molly and her husband from Mammoth Club in it, Adam the Woo, the Tim Tracker, Jackie Super Enthused are all in my vlog. Go and check that out. We'll talk to you guys next time.